Kyle here, Odys Mentor, and I'm going to be giving you my growth blueprint for firedepartments.net. So the reason why I picked this domain, number one, I like the name a lot. This just really stood out to me. It's very targeted. Fire departments, right? You already know what the domain is going to be about. Second, we have SEO metrics, of course. So here we can see if we just open it up into Ahrefs, I can see that it has DR32 with over 300 referring domains. So it is quite strong. And if we have a look back down here as well, where it was featured. So we just look at the screenshots here. So it was all about fire departments, right? So you could see here they had fire departments by state. And it does have a lot of, has some EDU links, some high authority links. So firedepartments.net, let's just show the results here. Look at the backlink profile. Definitely it does have some good authorities, some EDU links as well, as you can see. Another EDU link here as well. So good authority, right? Especially for the space. This, I think, is going to be a great site for somebody newer to niche sites, because it's going to be more of a lower competition niche, right? It's not something that's going to be overly high competition. So maybe it's not going to be this, the biggest site, right? It's more niche. Doesn't mean that you can't earn a good income from this site, and it's going to be a great process for you to be learning essentially. So I'll just walk you through essentially the rest of it here. So the first competitor that I have, which I found, which is firefighterinsider.com. So they have a little bit of a higher DR. They definitely have a little bit more authority. They've been around, but if you have a look, so for example, my notes here, they're DR37 with 36,000 traffic. Now the reason why I brought this one up is because, we just open these guys here. What I thought was really interesting is they're targeting all the typical kind of affiliate keywords, the info content. So this is going to be pretty low competition, basically just answering all the questions related to fire. So is this flammable, basically? So is propane flammable? Is Vaseline flammable? All these kinds of questions. So these are pretty low competition. But what really stood out to me while doing the research is this part here. So become a firefighter. This obviously fits really well to, it's super targeted, right? Firedepartments.net, how to become a firefighter. And it was a website all about fire departments. So the relevance is going to be, it's going to be great. It's perfectly relevant, right, for the site. So how to become a firefighter. If we open this up as well, which I think is a really interesting angle, is this gentleman here was actually selling a course on training. So this, I think, is a kind of a unique approach to monetize the site. And I think it's a great option. So on top of, so if we just go through, that's originally actually what caught my attention for this site. One of the reasons why I picked it, just because of this bit of a unique angle, which is not often looked at, selling a course and obviously being a firefighter. So especially if you already have experience in the industry or the niche, or maybe you even have, an uncle, a cousin, an aunt that has experience being a firefighter that you could kind of ask or use them as a persona to help build that credibility. Or maybe you doing this in your spare time, you're a firefighter and you're looking for some extra income. This is obviously a great opportunity to sell the course, right, and connect with these people. And as you can see here, there's many people that, based on the reviews and so on, that they need help with the course essentially. So you could provide a great service. So just a kind of a unique monetization angle. So, but even if you didn't go with that route, I mean, it's still getting good traffic for a comparable DR. So DR37, this, like I said, is DR32, 36,000 traffic. But if you want to explore the other monetization angles and kind of the content plan, I've also listed some other competitors here, but I'll just open them up 1 second in Ahrefs competitor. Hold on a second. So here's an example of the keywords that I was referring to. So like, is WD-40 flammable? Talking all about fire essentially. So these is like low-hanging fruit. I would say low-hanging fruit, just easy monetization with ads. The places where you can add affiliate products. So so the course option is this one direction that you could go with, but then also just ads, of course, is, like I said, is low-hanging fruit. Affiliate products, so all the products that are related to fire inspection, fire safes, fireproofing. You also have things like, fire extinguishers, which are pretty decently priced products. Fire safes as well can be quite expensive, so you have that angle there. Then if we just look at the actual competitors, so going to Ahrefs, we go to organic competitors, and this is where I would start for the overall content strategy. It was just like the low-hanging fruit, just focus on what's really easy. Get the site making, ranking quick, getting traffic quick, and making money quick from ads. This is always the strategy that I like to take when starting a new site. It's just the fastest, easiest way, I think, to make money, the lowest risk, the most consistent. Then once you're making that money, you can kind of explore other options. And once you're have a foothold in the niche, you already know where the demand is. Because as you write more content, you're going to learn more, right, about the niche. Unless you're already well versed in the niche, then you might know exactly what people are looking for. So this is my general approach. Now, what I would do is I would export all these competitors competitors. If we just talk about, I'll kind of cover these two topics here real quick on how would I approach the content plan, but then also why these lower DR sites are relevant. So as you know, obviously you have a DR32. So what I would do is I wouldn't start with a higher DR site. I would go export all the lower DR competitors here. So for example, we have firesafetysupport.com. This site here is only a DR7 and they have 5.8 thousand traffic in Ahrefs. So this is a smaller traffic, but what you can do is you can consolidate all these lower DR sites, right? So you have DR2 here, and you can actually export this, set the filter just to make it easier, but I'm just showing you here real quick. So you have basically with some other ones here, DR6, 10,000 traffic. This is more focused on the UK, it looks like. But as you can see, this is, you know, you could build a decent site here just on info content alone and not even talking about the course options. So export all those and focus on those lower competition keywords. So if we just have a look at maybe, let's just take DR 1.5. Let's just open up this competitor here just to get a sample of what some of the keywords would be looking like. I would imagine it's like, is XYZ flammable, right? Is canola oil flammable? Is WD-40 flammable? So we just have a look here. Let's look at the competitor, the organic keywords. Mostly info, I would imagine, that they're going to be targeting. If we just have a look at the site, so looks like, excuse my language, pretty, I was going to say shitty, but we'll just say it would be nice. It's a basic site. This is a simple site, right? Obviously using, you know, ChatGPT to help your content process is going to make this a lot easier and a lot more affordable to start pumping out basically high quality content, informational content. So what does red porch light mean? So just start exporting all these. Here's some good examples, right? So is antifreeze flammable? KD1. This particular site is ranking position 1 with a much lower DR than you. So you could just go and export all these, and if you do a better job at the actual content process, AI or not AI doesn't matter. It's more about the end result of the actual content quality. You could be outranking this particular site pretty easily. So sorry to this guy if you're watching this video, but you're going to get crushed by an auction domain. I've done this countless times. So moving on from there, so I would export all the lower DR sites and then focus on the like, you know, KD, basically like KD less than 5 even if you want. That way you know you're beating them on the specific page level for backlinks, but then also you're going to beat them on a DR level. So I said DR under 20. You could even start with, if you want to go super low, you could just go DR under 10 and start there. Export all the keywords, and you can put them into, if you have a little bit more resources, you have a little bit of money, you could put them into a keyword clustering tool like Keyword Cupid. This just speeds everything up. It's a way to quickly analyze thousands of keywords basically. And then you can also use ChatGPT to group them semantically. Just ask ChatGPT, just put in a batch of keywords, ask ChatGPT, group these keywords semantically so you know that all the internal linking is going to be close, and then also you can set that up to use your categories. I like to follow the avalanche approach for publishing content, so I would just aim for 1 post per day using ChatGPT. You create a system doing this. Is really quite simple to produce like a decent amount of content. If you can do more, then do more, but that's a good bet for these kind of lower competition keywords, and keep it on a system. And then now that we've already looked at these other websites, we can talk a little bit more about monetization. So that's hopefully the content plan is pretty straightforward there. It's nothing overly complicated. But once you have this kind of set up, then and you kind of have a system already set up in place, like I think this is the easiest way to start getting your money back and making a profitable site is just by targeting these low competition keywords, monetizing with ads. It's pretty easy, right? Then if you want to kick this up a notch, we can, and you already know about the niche basically, we can kind of expand out and maybe do things that are a little bit more unconventional in terms of monetization. So here we have, like, this is kind of the first step would be ads. So I would try to get onto something like Mediavine or Raptive, also known as AdThrive, as soon as possible. Personally, I don't like Azoic, but they have a lower barrier to entry in terms of overall traffic. So that's kind of where I would start for monetization. Next, all the keywords that are promoting, that are product centric, like best fire gloves or whatever, you know what I mean? Best fireproof gloves or best fireproofing spray. These are products that are found on Amazon. You can obviously add the Amazon links. Next is the course, so related to becoming a firefighter. So since the whole site is about fire, you could also offer, you know, common questions about, you know, firefighters and being a firefighter, that sort of stuff, like this gentleman is doing here. You could offer some sort of course, create a course. You could also have like figure out what the course is for becoming a firefighter and doing a bit of a cheat sheet as like a free email sign up or something like this. But just look at the course, see what he's doing, and just do something better is what I would say. And then you can look at also lead gen. So this is something that I think is a really interesting opportunity for a lot of niche sites. This is something that I'm exploring more on my own sites as well. It's just figuring out what kind of services that you cannot get necessarily on Amazon. So the way that you can also do this is just, if you already know the niche, it's going to be easier, but what you could just ask Chat GPT, what are local services related to fireproofing, right? So I know that there's like fireproofing spray, you have potentially a fire risk assessment, fire safety training. So you could potentially sell you could generate leads for people that are selling some sort of fire safety training, right? So they have companies that go to particular workplaces, or maybe they have different they have different centers where people go for their fire training. So you could promote that, potentially earn, like pay per lead or pay per conversion, something like that. You also have fire alarm and sprinkler system installation. This could be something as well where you're promoting certain brands that offer this as a service. So you could kind of vet them and promote them. And again, you could work out some sort of pay per lead model, fire door maintenance, whatever it is that's related to fire services that is targeting local markets. You could potentially sell those leads. This is a little bit of something that not a lot of people consider when doing, your typical niche sites, but I think it's a big opportunity. Like I said, I'm exploring this more on my own sites, basically. So that's there. And then also what I did found just quickly is I added a link here. So if you just have a look at, let's look at the URL, hopefully, engage inspection point. So inspect point, looks like inspectpoint.com. They're offering some sort of fire and life safety inspection software. So software generally generally software is high commission because it's sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. It's generally software services are great because they're reoccurring revenue basically, right? And it's the cost is much less to the person who owns it. So you could potentially be selling something like this, or do your own service, or figure out maybe you want to partner with this guy if he's legit. Just figure out more as to what he's offering and what his competitors are. See if you can have some sort of affiliate program, and they might already have affiliate programs on things like Share a Sale, or Impact Radius, or Commission Junction, CJ Affiliate, stuff like that, right? So figure out what kind of fire-related software and stuff is available. So there's tons of opportunity there. So like I said, you could kind of go down. Basically, like I mentioned, you go from the super easy, just ripping off these lower DR sites, stealing their keywords, monetizing with ads, and then you could slowly work your way up the monetization funnel, adding an email list, adding courses, adding the Amazon affiliates, adding potentially local lead generation, lead gen for local businesses, or one nationwide business that covers the local market and promoting them. There's a lot of opportunity, I would say, there, and it's relatively lower competition, and you're starting off with a great age domain DR32. Now, the only drawback that I would say of this niche is if these don't work out so well, the lead generation, all this stuff, it's a smaller market in general, right? This is not going to be, the fire department is a bit more niche. So this is going to be a benefit because it's going to be more niche. So it's going to be easier for you to build authority, but maybe this is not going to be like the $1 million business, right? If you have kind of bigger goals and all that stuff, then maybe this is not going to be the site for you. But if you're looking for a good starter site, I think it's a great opportunity to kind of get your feet wet and explore all the different monetization options. It's an even better benefit if you have experience, working with fire departments and so on. And the next point that I would make is that if you open up the site here, you will have to recreate a lot of the pages. I wouldn't say a lot. Let me just open this up one sec. So you would have to go to the top pages by links, or you can just go through here and export all these pages. Because as you can see, many of the links are going to inner pages. So you just have to recreate those pages. Now, I do believe Odys offers a service for this. If you want to inquire about that, you could ask them about that service, but you're going to have to recreate these pages just to make sure that you're not wasting any of the link juice. So yeah, that's just something to consider, right? Very important part of the steps there. Recreate the site, make sure everything's internally linked, make sure all the redirects are set up correctly to ensure that you're saving all the authority. So if you have any questions about the site or any of the topics, the keyword research, the strategy that I did mention, feel free to book a call with me, and I'd be more than happy to help you basically get started on your monetizing your auction domains. Once again, this is Kyle. I appreciate the time. Let me know if you have any questions. Book a call with me. Thanks a lot.